Are you broke or a new player to the Donut SMP? Do you want to be able to buy things like an Elytra or an Amethyst tool? Do you want to have millions of dollars like me? Well, you're in luck because I'm going to be showing you every money making method that I use to make my millions. Starting from the least amount of money to the most amount of money. So let's start with the first money making method. When you first RTP in the Donut SMP, here's what I would do to make your first few $1,000s. Me personally, if I just RTP, the first spot that I just got placed down into is here, I'd probably start breaking some trees, making some tools, and once you have your tools, you can go ahead and start chopping down your trees. Okay, I just got myself 24 logs, so now we can go into order. We can click the sign, type in spruce log, $300 each. You just made $7,000, and you can repeat that step and then get a better axe and then keep on making more money until you have at least $100,000 for this next process. Okay, for this next step, you're going to want to RTP to the nether, and then once you RTP, you're going to want to locate a lava ocean, I guess we'll call it. Lava lake, there we go. Just remember the name. Okay, when you're at the lava lake, you're going to want to do /auction house, iron. You're going to want to see if there's any cheap iron for sale. Most of it's going to cost you around 20k to 50k, I'd assume. So let's just buy a stack. Then you're going to want to turn it into some buckets. And then you're just going to want to keep on clicking. Oh, shit. You're going to want to keep on clicking. Fill your inventory up with lava. Then for your next step, you want to do auction house lava. See how cheap it is, how much it's going for. Looks like it's going for 10k. You want to set it to the lowest price so that way yours comes up first. I typed it wrong. I typed it wrong again. Here you go, 9.99k. Sell that up for auction. Within literally the next second, it gets sold. This is definitely a good method to make a few $100,000, if not your first million. It pays itself back within 2 or 3 lava buckets, depending on how cheap you get the iron for. If you do want to take this step a bit further and not just sell it one by one, I could recommend making shulker boxes full of lava and selling it on the auction house for 100,000 each, roughly around there, 200,000, something around there. Or even better, you could do /order lava. As you can see, people are buying our lava buckets. Okay, never mind. It's going for a little cheaper over here. But if you want, you can sell it on there if you have a bunch of lava. But yeah, let's move on to the next money-making method. Okay, for this next money-making method, you're going to want to RTP to a random location. Then, you're just going to want to dig down. Okay, well, there's already a hole here, so let's just do that. Until you find yourself a cave. Okay, as you can see, all my buckets just sold, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's all of it, at least. And we're still looking for a cave. I hear one to my right, though. We found a big cave. Now, this is perfect for if you want to do this method. Now, right now, I have my mobs off because, well, I just hate mobs in my base, which I recommend turning on. Okay, so pretty much what you want to do is you want to wait around, reload the chunks until you get mobs to spawn. And now the specific mob that you're gonna want is the zombie villager. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make sure to find 2 of them, and then you're gonna want to cure them. Make a base somewhere near the cave. You could dig a tunnel that's 100 blocks long. That's what I did. But yeah, just transport your villagers, and then you'll get something that looks like this. Okay, so basically I just have 2 villagers up here. They breed, and then the babies get dropped down this chute into this water area. Then all you got to do is just click this button. So after a bunch of breeding, you're gonna have villagers like this all around you in a trading hall. You're gonna want to label them so you don't get lost, and then you're gonna want to infect them and then cure them using a zombie villager that I have down here. And then basically you'll get 1 emerald trades for books like silk touch, unbreaking, over here mending. Now before doing this, you're gonna want to know what high demand is. Okay, so basically if I were to do mending, right, high demand, mending is always in high demand. Everyone wants mending. You're gonna use it on every tool, every armor. Now what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to sell it for when it's at a good price. I'd say 20k is around a decent price for mending. Sometimes it drops below, maybe The lowest I've seen it has probably been 8K, which is definitely not a great way to make profit. So I'd recommend selling any book that you get at 20K, except for the really hard ones or expensive ones like Sharpness 5. Now to prove to you guys that this method works, I'm going to do it myself real quick. Oh, and if you don't have emeralds, don't worry about it. Either get a Fletcher and order some logs, or just set an order for emeralds too. Either way works. Me personally, ordering the blocks is just easier because you don't have to worry about trading and getting a lot of Fletchers. Okay, I got some books and some emeralds, so let's go to the mending. Okay, we just bought a few books of mending. Let's sell it. Auction house, sell 18K. I don't know if the price has gone down within like the 5 minutes that it took me to get this, but it should start selling really soon. Yup, see? Sells literally instantly. Sometimes it sells within the second of putting it up. As you can see, 4 of them just sold. Now there is a second way to make money with villagers, and that is through armor. As you can see, I have pretty much this whole row of villagers just selling me armor for 1 emerald each. Auction house sell. I think right now it's 25K. I don't think that chest piece will sell, but I think these boots will sell. And that's because boots, helmets, leggings are all prone to breaking before your chest piece. So they're definitely in higher demand than chest pieces. So those are the pieces that I'd recommend selling. And usually helmets and boots are cheaper than leggings and chest pieces from an armorer. As you can see, 1 legging is 6, 1 chest piece is 3, and these are all 1. It also depends on the enchantments, but this is definitely a great way to make some money. /order. And then looking up important redstone components, such as repeaters, pistons, hoppers, and observers. All of these items come out cheaper on order instead of buying each single one from the auction house, which means you can flip these redstone components to 5 times your money. Say if you bought 1 repeater for 1K and sold it for 5K on the auction house, and you bought $100 million worth of repeaters and you sold all of it, and you would roughly gain around 500 million in profit. And now on to the final step, and that is farms. Now me personally, I own a kelp farm, which is one of the best farms on the Donut SMP currently. I'll demonstrate how this works. I have a shulker box of bone meal right here. So now what I do, I just place a shulker. It gets dispensed into the hoppers and then crafted into bone meal when I flick this lever. And then it starts producing me a lot of kelp. Right now, only 1 out of the 4 chambers only have bone meal in it, so that's why it looks kind of slow. And also, if you want to do that method, just keep in mind it's going to cost millions of dollars for bones and blaze rods to fuel the auto smelters, which does decrease the profit margin by a lot. Now, if you're going to do one of these farms that require bones and fuel for an auto smelter, like a kelp farm, I'd recommend buying yourself multiple spawners or AFKing for spawners until you have a decent amount. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video and the tips I showed you along with it, please consider subscribing because this is one of my first videos. And also, if you want some free money, I stream very often, which I give away millions of dollars in. So see you in the next video.